And welcome back to the baseline, where today, guys, we are talking about a busy couple days as we approach spring training. Pitchers and catchers have actually reported to their respectable training sites, which you'll love to see. 21 days away from the World Baseball Classic, which I would gladly watch, just because it's fun. It's kind of like other teams' World Series. Some countries take it seriously. And, we're, 40 plus days away from opening day, which I love. It's exciting as, baseball posted on their social media pages, which I think is awesome. They posted, "It's our turn now," which, if you're a baseball fan, it is our turn. After football has ended, baseball is back, and I'm happy with it. But let's talk about some moves that have been made this weekend. Some moves actually made today, which is some breaking news we'll get into. But let's talk about the topic that happened this past weekend. I believe it was on Friday of last week, Wednesday of last week. Sorry about that. Where Tarik Skubal won his arbitration over the Detroit Tigers. The Tigers wanted to pay him $19 million. He wanted $32 million, which he ended up getting. He deserves it. Tarik Skubal has won the last 2 Cy Youngs in the last couple of years. He is a great pitcher. He is projected next after this offseason to be the highest paid pitcher in history. He's looking to become the first pitcher. He's projected to get $400 to $500 million, which is insane. And I believe he will get that. He will get that much money. He has been part of the Tigers organization for many, many years. Will he leave? I don't know. I can't tell you what's going through his mind, if anything is going through his mind, about where his future holds. He's probably focused on this year, as most players who are approaching their free agency. You will usually say and tell you he might want to stay. He might want to be with the Detroit Tigers, but it probably also wants to win. I'm not saying that the Tigers don't have a shot of winning. Of course they do. You're not really in a good division. The people, in their division don't really spend money. The biggest money the Cleveland Guardians spend was on their own player, which was Jose Ramirez. Now he's a lifetime Cleveland Guardian, which, congratulations. I love that for him. But the Royals don't spend. The Twins are possibly either gonna sell, or they're just not gonna. I don't know. Like they disbanded that whole group of players that we were told last year wasn't gonna go on, and I called that either Buxton or Correa was gonna get traded, and they did. And we all know the White Sox kind of spending money, but I don't think they're there yet. Like, you're not going to compete with these teams unless something really, really big happens and you get your opportunity and you capitalize on it. But anyway, Tarik Skubal, won his arbitration case. I guess the question is now, what is the relationship between these two teams? I don't think it's anything bad. We've seen arbitration cases come here and there, and some guys really re-sign anyway. It's just that now you've got this big market guy. I think it's going to come to the big market teams. I think you will see possibly the Mets, possibly the Dodgers, if they're willing to trade one of their 8 starting pitchers, or maybe possibly put one of the pitchers back in the bullpen, like Sasaki. Yankees, I think, although how their offseason went, I don't know. I don't see it them going that much. Especially, 2 years ago when Yamamoto was available, and they didn't want to hurt Garrett Cole's feelings by making him pay more than Garrett Cole, which I thought was ridiculous. And the Mets. I said the Mets. But, yeah, I see those teams in on him. Obviously, Detroit will try to keep him stay. But I think he will get paid. But this is like the biggest arbitration case in the history of baseball. So congratulations to Tarik Skubal. Now, sticking with the Detroit Tigers, we have something probably really good for Tarik Skubal, which is he has backup now, which he hasn't had the last 2 years. No offense to the Casey Mize and, the Jack Flaherty's, but he has protection. He has a veteran leader behind him who has won and has done really well in the playoffs. And that's Framber. Valdez has signed a 3-year deal with the Detroit Tigers. And I have to say, I love it. I think this is awesome. They finally gave him his 1-2 punch, which they haven't had in the last couple of years. I mean, you've gone to the championship series here and there, and you've won with Skubal, but then after that, it's how do we get past that? How do we go towards that? Because they really don't have that great pitching. I think this is at least the top of the 1-2 punches. I will put them second behind Yamamoto and Blake Snell. But I think this is a really good move for them. Like I said, he is a veteran leader. They're not really bothered by that throw he made with his catcher, like checking his catcher, which you shouldn't do, in my opinion. I think that was stupid. But he's also with a familiar face in A.J. Hinch. A.J. Hinch is the manager. He is now he knows Valdez. I think Hinch did have a say in this. I think he had something to do with it, which was, talk to him, see where his mindset is at, see how he's feeling, and that, hey, listen, you're not going to be an ace. Take the pressure off of him. Because, let's be honest. Last year, he was an ace, and it really wasn't that good. He had his ups and downs, but he's still a dominant asset for a team. And all these teams that he was probably going to go to had aces, and he probably knew, I'm going to be behind whoever. But this does give you a shot to win. If you're Detroit, you're happy with this. You have boosted up your bullpen a little bit. You have the same hitting guys, but they're such a good team that I think they might actually have a shot to at least make it to the World Series now. And I like that because, this is a team that has struggled for years, hasn't been in the World Series since 2012, I believe, when they lost to the Giants. Yeah, why not take this shot? Go for it. And I'm going to say if right now, just because you never know, but if this is Skubal's last year, well, now you do have the backup in Valdez. That will be your ace. That will be your guy that, okay, well, Skubal leaves. Here's our ace. Here's Valdez for another year. And then we could go out on the market and get a number 2, number 3, get these youngsters up and running again. There's so many factors coming on for this year and of next. So that's what I like. And like I said, it gives them a legitimate shot of winning. They're definitely going to win the Central. I don't think anything crazy is going to happen like last year where you dropped 15 games or so in the last, 2 months of the baseball season. So now we'll have to see how things go, but I do like this Detroit Tigers rotation, and I like the way how they are being constructed right now. They are going on and filling their needs, and their needs was starting pitching. So I am happy that Detroit has, well, finally, finally came up and gave Skubal that protection that he needs. The other moves that have been made, Goldschmidt goes back to the Yankees, which he'll be platooning between him and Ben Rice. I think he'll be more with lefties now instead of an everyday with the righties. Just again, I don't know. If you're a Yankee fan, are you frustrated? Let me know, seriously. Like, are you really frustrated with how this team is? I mean, yes, you won 94 games last year, but half of your division wasn't really that good. It wasn't. Toronto really wasn't that good until June, July. And Baltimore didn't have a great lineup. Now they do. They have a great bullpen. I still think they're missing some starting pitching, but, I mean, we'll see. Boston was up and down, and so were the Rays. But this year, Toronto's better than they were last year. Baltimore has a better lineup now. They have some decent pitching, but when does that stop anybody? I mean, look at Toronto. Really, was anyone an ace on that ball club? Like, if you put them on another team, is Kevin Gausman an ace on any team? No. He's probably a number 2. And look how far they went into the World Series. Like, they got to the World Series. They got to Game 7. Same thing with Baltimore. You don't know now. You don't know with most of this pitching. So we'll have to see how that's going to affect. I guess my problem with the Yankees is that you told the fans we're not going to bring in the exact same team. All your moves have been guys who were part of your team last year. Rosario, Bellinger, Grisham, Goldschmidt. That's been your offseason. And as a Yankee fan, are you okay? Because then basically what Cashman is saying to you, well, our biggest acquisition is coming 3 months after the season starts, which is Garrett Cole. But can you rely on Garrett Cole? And the only reason I say that is because Tommy John, you could come back and be really, really good, or you could come back and be mediocre. Not saying that Garrett Cole will be mediocre. I'm not saying that. I like Garrett Cole. I think he's one of the best pitchers in all of baseball right now. But can you really rely on him? The report is they're rushing Carlos Rodon back. Why? You have more pitching than anybody. Well, probably except for the Dodgers. But you got a decent rotation. Not good. Decent. I think if the season were to start now, you have, Fried, Weathers, Heel, Schlittler. I'm probably blanking on the fifth guy. And also not to mention that Clark Schmidt comes back in August. And I've heard it before. I've seen it. Within the first 2 months of the baseball season, you could lose the division. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this Yankee team saying that our biggest acquisition's coming back in June. Like, I think they probably should, like, the Dodgers, for example. This is what I hear, well, look at the Dodgers. They are bringing up the same team. True, but they added key pieces. Hey, they needed an outfielder? They got Kyle Tucker. Oh, we needed a closer. Okay, now we got Edwin Diaz. The Yankees, well, this team won 94 games. Let's bring them all back together. Is there... I don't know. I don't know what the plan is. I would have gone out and I would have gotten Robert Suarez. I would have gotten a closer. They weren't in on anybody. Bellinger was the number one priority. Hey, you got him. And now there's nothing left. I don't know. I don't know how... If you're a Yankee fan, please let me know. How do you feel about this Yankee team? Um, Now today's news, which has been shocking. Um, Let me get the details here for you. Marcelo Ozuna has reportedly agreed to a 1-year deal with the Pittsburgh Pirates. How about that? The Pirates, who have signed Ryan O'Hearn, they've gotten Brendan Lau in a trade with the Tampa Bay Rays. This team has really been phenomenal. They have been fantastic, and I like it. I like that this is the way the Pirates are going. And, you know, they know it too. They do. Is that, well, hey, Paul Skeens, we got 4 years left. But now let's prove to him we can win. Yes, they're minor moves. Like, but Marcelo Ozuna's going to hit you 20 to 30 home runs. Ryan O'Hearn is a great contact hitter. So is Brendan Lau. And now that Lau is playing on actual grass, might actually stay healthy. So, you know, this is a really, really great move. They had, at the end of last season, they were the 6th best in ERA for starting pitching. 6th best. They got a phenomenal pitching staff, led by Paul Skeens. The only thing that's stopping that's in your way are the Cubs right now. I don't really think that the Brewers will be that good, although they traded people and they've had nothing stopped them since then. But this is an incredible move for the Pittsburgh Pirates. I like that they're actually spending now and they're getting their guys. I love it. I love it for them. And I think that in the next coming years, maybe, just maybe, they might actually go on. They were reportedly in on Kyle Schwarber. Made him an offer, but he went back to Philadelphia. They were in on Suarez before he went to the Reds. So if they're actually willing to pay this much money, I can see in the next coming years, hopefully, this doesn't stop right here. I like this move for them. You know, I'm crossing my fingers that they keep spending. Because I would love to see them back into the playoffs. And I would love to see them bring Paul Skeens in. You know, the Angels haven't brought Mike Trout back into the playoffs. You know, we haven't had, you know, Paul Skeens yet. I'm really ready to see what he does. He said he wants a championship back or bring up playoffs back into Pittsburgh. So let's see it. Let's see what they can do. It's a great lineup now with this acquisition. So let's see what they could do. And then another move was a trade. Boston made a trade that's been their thing, which is Khalib Dubron is going from Milwaukee to the Red Sox. Kyle Harrison, is going to Milwaukee. Look, I like Dubon. He's a great hitter. He's a great defender. Basically, he's been traded everywhere. He was with Atlanta. Atlanta trades him to the Yankees. He was with the Yankees in the minor leagues. He gets traded to Milwaukee now, where he could actually shine in the majors. Played like 130 something games. Has done phenomenal. I'm guessing he'll play third base since they miss out on Bregman and Suarez. But now that Rafael Devers deal looks like more favorite from the Giants because you traded everybody. Hicks goes to Chicago, the White Sox. Harrison goes to the Brewers. Another minor league guy gets involved in the trade with St. Louis. So it looks like they didn't even really want these guys. They just made a deal just to make it. But I don't know. I guess business is business. You gotta try to get whoever you can on these deals and try to get the best people, even if they're not really a major signing. But DeBron has proven that he could play. Now that I actually can. Probably platoon with IKF. I know they signed him to a 1-year deal a couple weeks ago. But yeah, we'll see how Boston does. Like I said, minor acquisitions. And we'll see how this goes. But anyway, that's gonna do it for me. Please like, comment, subscribe, share the videos if you like what you hear. We're gonna keep doing this. We'll be with here all baseball season long. And going forward as we approach the countdown to opening day begins, and it starts today. Thank you guys so much. And I will see you all in the next one.